Hey everybody, it's Irene with BrainStormAcres. And if you followed us yesterday, you will know that it's about time for some urban renewal. So yesterday, Henry surprised me with some new bits and pieces of Christmas Village. He knows that I've been wanting to add to this Christmas Village forever and ever, and I always find things that are twice as big or twice as small, but never this size. And so he tried to buy another bunch of buildings for these. And the buildings that he bought are all from the same series, but they're a different size. So what I decided I would do was keep the buildings of the same size together and create like a upper town and lower town. Now this is not that uncommon in some places in the world to have towns that are sort of split into pieces. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So here's the upper town. This is the original. And I do not have, well, if I were to completely dismantle this, I have more of this stuff. Honestly, I don't want to completely dismantle it. So what I have done is I have taken a white linen tablecloth and some other odd bits and pieces of stuff to create the impression of doing the same sort of stuff as I have here without it actually being the same sort of stuff. Close enough for government work. The main showpiece for this, we do look at it during the day, but the big thing is actually after dark when all the lights come on. So I'm going to show you the new setup that I've put together, and I'm going to modify it a little bit because previously I have all this here, plus I have a little teeny tiny auxiliary village over there that's meant to be kind of like a waypoint someplace like that when you're traveling from point A to point B, and somewhere in the middle is an inn or something where you can stop. I'm going to probably snatch a couple things out of here and move them to the new setup. And I'm going to tell you what I've done with the new setup because there's a couple of pieces missing. So, cheat to win. I, of course, realized I was chopping off the top of my head, so I fixed that now that I'm done working in this section. So I'm going to move over to this section, and I'll tell you what I've done. This is the new village. Right over there is actually a chair back. If I was going to be super picky, I would move that. I'm not going to be super picky because I only have one place in here that chair fits right now, and I just didn't want to fiddle with it. And if you were to look under this table, you would find buckets of paint. We're going to ignore that, and we're going to look at the tabletops because that's where it looks kind of cute. My light is also showing over there, and I'll move him out of the way. He was actually there for other purposes, so he doesn't look great. Let's move him. There we are. You got a close up of my cool shirt. It's not a cool shirt. I got this a gazillion years ago, but I only wear it at Christmas time. So after each holiday season, it gets carefully tucked away in a box where nothing eats it or anything else. So, and of course I have on a pair of Christmas earrings because you have to have those. So, here is my new little village. Unfortunately, some of the information on some of the boxes was incorrect. It doesn't have much variation in buildings as they originally said it did, but Henry said he checked the sales information and they gave him what they said they were sending him. So it's not perfect, but you know, it's darn cute. And what I have to decide long term is if I'm going to modify the dupes. So this building and this building are the same, and this building and this building are the same. So I have two furniture stores and I have two barber shops. And what I need to think about is one of these barber shops was actually supposed to be a coffee shop, I think, something like that. And I think what they did was they took the same buildings and they just repainted them. So I have to decide whether I'm going to bother with that in the long run. In the short run, I'm not going to. So one of the problems I discovered immediately when I unpacked this stuff, first of all, everything did survive because Henry was concerned one of the boxes had a good sized dent in it. But good luck on that one. There was nothing chipped, nothing broken, nothing cracked. So all the pieces are intact. I actually checked the box, and that's actually what they look like. They, to me, look like a cocktail thingy, but it does not sit straight, which kind of annoys me, but I'm just not going to. I'm going to let that go. We're going to do our best Frozen impersonation today and let it go. So what I have is I have a very cute little village with a few accessories. It did not come with lights except for one building. This building here has lights. So what I did was Henry had found strands of LED lights early this season, and he picked up 2 strands of white and 2 strands of color because you can never have too many lights. They were, I think, probably on sale, but it's always great to have extra lights because somewhere along the line something's going to die. You know, one of the strands out along the fence has got a section that's not running right now. There's no way I'm going to figure out how to fix that probably, although I could go out and spend some time with it. It's just, it sounds awful to say it's not important enough, but it's not important enough. I'm thrilled from the house to be able to see the lights. If there's a section that's 6 feet long that's turned off, I can live with that. Anyway, back to the village. So what I did last night is I was thinking, I have white lights, and I have buildings that need lights. I'll bet, I know them from the setup of these lights here, that what they do is they have the standard setup is actually a white cord which has a clip that goes into the bottom of the building, and it's got a little incandescent light bulb in it, like the kind in the United States that's used for night lights. And so it's got a decent sized hole in the bottom of it, and then it sometimes has extra holes like this that I'm sure have to do with the manufacturing process. So I decided I would go ahead and use the one that I do have, but I actually, in the long run, will probably change that out because there's no reason to force myself to use something. Anyway, I've created kind of this little semicircle here of buildings, and I'll show you. I just literally crammed these white LED light bulbs. Now, the nice thing about LED light bulbs is, first of all, they very rarely break. And second of all, they don't put off heat the way the incandescent light bulbs do. So that's one less concern. You're not going to set the place on fire. So when I turn this on, that's what we get. This is all strung up with lights. The buildings here have incandescent light bulbs in them. You know, I may actually change that in the future because that incandescence is, sometimes it's hard to get that size. They're not as commonly available as they used to be. But at any rate, when I crammed them inside here, all of a sudden my little buildings lit up pretty well. So some of these have just 1 or 2 light bulbs in it. Some of it had 3, some of them have 4, depending on how many holes were available in the bottom to cram the light bulbs into. And, you know, it works, especially now it's not particularly dark in here, so it doesn't show it off as well. But at night, it looks really cute. What I did with the extra lights on this one, because I like to have some behind it as if it's, I don't know, creating a winter wonderland thing, I run them up on the wall. Here I haven't done anything with it, and I'm not sure what I am going to do with it, because this is an old card table that's pretty ratty. And I just covered it with an old linen tablecloth, which is also a little on the ratty side. But I'm going with the theory that the wrinkles and stuff in the tablecloth simply make it look like snowdrifts. So that's my theory. I'm sticking to it. I think I'm going to move one of the scenes from up top to down here. I'm going to move one of the little ponds, because I think that'll go really well with this. So this came with 1 tree. Don't think I have any spare trees that are left. No, I don't. I decided to cram all the spare trees into the other one. But I am going to move these guys around. I just sort of plopped them there last night. and I'm going to create a little sort of side area over here, because the scale doesn't matter that much. Now, one of the things we discovered when we looked at the stuff up closely was this set here of accessories really does not the same scale as this. This is an HO scale, or close to it. This is one size up, so I'm thinking it's an S or something like that. But we're going to ignore that. This is a winter wonderland. It's fantasy, so we're not going to worry about it. Precision. I am going to leave the tree in the middle here, and I'll probably just like move a couple of little things around up in the upper village to spread it out a little bit. But this gives a little bit more interest down here to have this little pond. I can sort of spread these lights around a little bit. At night, this is just so cute. It really is. It is just so cute. I have sort of randomly just plopped this stuff down last night so we could take a look at it, and I'll move it around a little bit, as if people are actually sitting looking at things and doing things and whatnot. There's not a lot I can do with it right now. I did put the mailbox out in front of the courthouse. I like the gazebo in the middle. I like the bridge and a little pond over here. This guy is a male person, it looks like. Yeah, that's what it looks like, is they're supposed to be a male person of some sort. So I'll have him striding about forcefully. And this is a parental unit with a kid in a stroller in the snow. Strollers in the snow, by the way. I don't recommend that. I've done that before. It's really not much fun. And then we have a mom and a kid here walking around sort of randomly. But, you know, try and organize it a little bit so it's kind of cute. I was trying to think if I could move, what could I move around that would make it look a little cooler. I could move, especially since I can really move this guy separately, I could move that like that and put the tree over there. This is a little street sign that says Park Avenue and Main Street. Very Monopoly. But to be fair, at least in New England, there's always a Park Avenue and there's always a Main Street, pretty much. So, yeah, it kind of suits. Anyway, this is a little town clock, like you might have in an open area with a gazebo. So we'll stick him out here, sort of. This is not exactly brain surgery. I'm just trying to make the stuff look a little cuter, because the stuff is really cute, but it's nice to have something else going on. Anyway, so a little bit of urban renewal. I was trying to decide if I wanted to do much more than that. Trying to think if I had any more trees, and the answer is no, I don't. But this is almost a little crowded there, so I was thinking that maybe I would move a few of the bits and pieces out of here. I felt I had to use them here because, well, I had them. I'm one of those people who has to use everything they have. So I was thinking I would probably move one of the bushes and a tree that I have and add them down here. And then there's another spare tree that I just kind of tucked in behind here. There's some stuff over here that I was never totally in love with the location of. So I'm thinking what I might do is move some of this stuff down here, because it would be fun. Some of this is sort of random. I mean, like, what are you supposed to do with this stuff? They sell you these little accessory kits, and you have to try and figure out, what are you accessorizing? I mean, it's it doesn't always make a lot of sense. But let's see. Straighten out the church a little bit over here. We could be walking away from the church. I'm trying to create kind of a little scene here that makes a little more sense, I guess is the best way to put it. So I'm thinking maybe the fountain in the middle of this, because I don't have skaters on this pond. This is just a cool little recreational area almost here. And then maybe another tree. Obviously, I'm talking to myself as I'm thinking this out, because that's what I always do anyway. Let's see. Oops. One of the problems with using a linen tablecloth, well, even the flocked fabric can be problematic in terms of making things that are small based, like the trees, fall over. Yeah, I think I like that better. That's kind of cute. It's got something going on here. What I'm trying to decide is if I want to move the gazebo closer to the courthouse. I think so. So we'll be artistic here. Doink. There is actually a courthouse down in Prescott that has a gazebo over near it and things like that. So we'll put that here. And that gives more than one focal point in the open area here. Yeah, I think that's better. Artistic. Ta-da. This is actually real cool at night because you don't notice that it's an old linen tablecloth and stuff like that. It just looks like a little village. So I'm pretty happy with that. I've never been in love with a couple of things that I stashed up here where they were. I just left them there because I felt I needed to use everything. I think what I'm going to do is move this guy too. This is a very strange snowman that I never really understood. But we'll put him over near the barbershop because why not? It's supposed to be decorative. So there we go. That's making it look as if they've got their stuff decorated. The trees and stuff like this here are perfect. They have more than one purpose. They actually cover up some of the lights, the strings from them and stuff like that. So that's perfect. The Santa could move down here and it would be okay. Maybe the Santa could be right there. Let's see what we think about him there. Does he look better there? Yeah, I think he does look better there because now you got a Santa and a tree and a furniture store and a barber shop. Yep. That's good.